Hi everyone, welcome to a unique UBS Trending as we take a deep dive into the art world. I'm John Matthews, and my friend Anthony Pastore offered me the host chair today so I can discuss a favorite topic of mine with one of my favorite people, Matthew Newton. The art world, that's the topic, so I want to get right into it with Matt, so welcome.
Thank you very much, John. Good to be here with you.
So Matt, from a global wealth perspective and an art perspective, the U.S. and particularly New York continue to dominate the art world from our latest art market report. So maybe talk about and elaborate what that means for investors and art enthusiasts around here.
Sure. So I like to point out in this topic, we're sitting here in Midtown Manhattan, right? We are within about a 2-mile radius of the 4 largest auction houses in the world. Hundreds of galleries, including some of the biggest galleries in the world, are right here. So you're really at the epicenter of the art market, right where we're sitting at this moment. And so the data that came out in the report showed, which was actually the same percent as last year, which is the US market, is 44% of all of global sales. So almost half of all of global sales are happening in the United States. And with New York's preeminence really in the market, you're probably, something like a third of the art market happens right here. And so that infrastructure is hard to replicate other places. We have basically people come here, even if they live in other parts of the world, they come here to shop for art. And for me, what that really points out is, we have an increasingly technological world. It's a digital world, but people want to see in person the work that they're going to bring home and live with. And it's easier to do that when it's in one place where either they or their representatives can see it. I think the other reason that the U.S. is leading at this moment in this topic, is you see, the Asian market is also a very important part. China is a very important part of the art market. But over the last 10 years or so, it's been an overall declining part of the market. There's ups and downs with there, but overall trajectory has been declining. The U.S. has probably benefited a little bit from some of that. And then you have the U.K. and France as really the other two kind of important players within that. But again, you still have such a concentration of transactions that happen here. Now those artworks might end up anywhere. They go from here all over the world, but the moment of sale happens right here.
Yeah, and on one hand, I'm not surprised because the majority of wealth around the world is in the United States. I mean, we have more than our fair share. But many times when you think of the art world, you think of more emerging places, or you may think of the grand masters in Europe and so. But I guess it's the old adage, if you can make it in New York, you can make it anywhere, right?
It's a little bit of that, but it's also a global market. It's really reflective. So you have, if you dial in and watch a Christie's or a Sotheby's sale or one of the other larger auction houses, there's a phone bank with people dialed in from all over the world, bidding on artwork. So it is a global market. That's still true, but it's reflected in a local marketplace, which I think is kind of interesting. And again, there are other important markets across the world, but New York still holds a distinctive place as probably the preeminent market.